Hey guys, and welcome. I created a course that has never been done before. It is not just a master class that will take you step by step and teach you how to self-heal from trauma, but it also combines this knowledge with one-on-one therapy from a licensed therapist. And to even take this a step further, what made me make this course in the first place was because I was 28 years old. I had survived a massive assault. I had survived an abusive relationship. I had survived the loss of my child. And I still had to be a single mom of two and a functioning single mom of two and raise my kids. And I was looking for a way to heal. And so, yeah, I found there was psychologists and psychiatrists, and there were people who were good at what they did, but I didn't find any program or any psychological help that combined art therapy, somatic experiencing therapy, drama therapy, CBT, and all of the classical as well as new age therapies into one. And that's what I wanted, and it didn't exist. And one step further than that, it was usually coming in the form of a white privileged male. And it was really difficult for me to look at this white privileged male talking about trauma thinking, you have never lived through trauma. Your parents probably paid for med school, and I don't really think you have that much to tell me about trauma. Let's be real. So for this reason, I spent a lot of time and energy putting together not only course materials and teachers and professors and female experts from women who went through abuse and who went through trauma and came out of it and were experts at helping both themselves and others to heal from trauma. But I also put all of these different therapies together into one place for you. So I'm so grateful, and I'm really proud to have this program for you right now. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about why it's different and why it's necessary, why I needed it, and why you very likely need it as well. And that's because, to make things simple, talk therapy doesn't work. Classical therapy doesn't work. According to Dr. Sabina Sarin, it only works at the end, final stage of trauma. So to put things simply, we are usually going to a talk therapist and wondering why it's not healing our trauma. And that's tapping into the lack of knowledge surrounding trauma. And there's actually 3 phases of trauma. So during the first and second phases of trauma, you're not doing any talking, you're not doing any recounting or any storytelling about what happened. And it's really tapping into the sense that during these first 2 phases of trauma, you have the charges of survival trauma energy trapped in your body that cannot be released from the body with words. It has to be released from the body through movement and through especially somatic experiencing, through art, through dance, through exercise, through yoga. And there's also something called authentic movement, which is what we're going to talk more about. And when we say we are going to rewire your brain in order to heal from trauma in 10 minutes a day, it's tapping into A and B, these nonverbal therapies, before we go into C, which is the other therapies that are verbal, that are expressing themselves through words and through stories and through recounting. And so today, in order to demonstrate some of the techniques we use in stages 1 and 2 to guide you through trauma healing, is tapping into your body's nervous system by doing authentic movement therapy. And so when I say, hey, we're going to rewire your brain, these are some of the exercises that we're going to do to rewire your brain and nervous system to slowly come back to a sense of peace and stability by discharging that extra trauma energy trapped in the body before we move on to traditional talk therapies. So allow me to show you the authentic movement techniques, and you can do this from anywhere from 3 minutes a day to 10 minutes a day and incorporate this into your daily practice. So when you're getting ready to do authentic movement, this is the beginning of learning how to tap into what feelings are latent and are hiding in your body. So the first lesson in this practice is to understand that our mind is not necessary. We do not need to think. This is about expressing different feelings. If we feel pain, if we feel anxiety, if we feel confusion, if we just feel tired, wherever those feelings come up in our body, whether they're all throughout our body or whether they're coming up at different parts of our body, this is a way to express those feelings. And part of authentic movement is saying it doesn't matter how weird I look doing this or how I look at all doing this. It matters that I'm able to express exactly what I want to do. And so some people, when they do authentic movement, they'll put on music because that's something that will help get you a little bit more comfortable with moving your body in weird ways. So we're just, as a society, a bit more used to moving to music. And if that makes you feel better, for me, I personally like putting music on. I think it does help. Then go ahead and do it. Now, with authentic movement, as you put on your song and you start to move to it and you have anxiety, one practice that you can incorporate is saying, I'm going to walk like my anxiety. If my anxiety can walk a certain way, would it be very big and low? Would it be very heavy? And you can start and walk like your anxiety. If your anxiety has a noise that you want it to make, whether it's a low moan or whether it's a scream or whatever noise that wants to come out with that feeling, let that noise come out. If your anxiety wants to continue walking like this the whole song or for 10 songs, however long you want, you can keep doing it. It's all about expressing what your body feels it has to let out, what it has to express. Another thing that might come up is you might just want to curl into a ball and stay in the same little place. And that's also part of authentic movement. It's listening to what your body wants to do. And if it wants to make a sound, make the sound. And if it wants to shake or tremble or move, let it do so. Another part of authentic movement that can come up is saying, maybe I want to express a character. So I would like to express a zombie, and I just feel like that's coming out of me. So a character can come out of me, or a movement, or you can walk a certain way. And it's really just letting your body go and make those movements. And sometimes it could even be like a fighting movement if you want to do clawing. If that's what comes up, then do it. You might want to do it really fast at first and then really slow it down and watch your hands as you do that. And whatever comes up, as strange and as weird as it looks, express it, let it out, and let it go. And we'll see more and more every day as you do this. It will not only release the trapped trauma energy that's stored in the body and in the nervous system, but it will also teach you to notice those feelings by giving them voice and by giving them sound and by giving them the space and say, I notice you and I'm going to express you. And more as you do that, it's slowly going to discharge that trauma energy and slowly help the parasympathetic nervous system take over, which is the rest and digest part of your body, so that you can slowly get into a more symbiotic homeostasis, more of a healthier emotional flow of this is what it feels like to feel anxiety, but this is also what it feels like to feel at rest and at peace. And we're allowing that energy to slowly be discharged for more balance to take over your body. So I'm glad that you were able to see a little bit some of the weird but interesting ways to discharge trauma from the body in the beginning, first and second stages of trauma before talk therapy begins. And as you can see, this is very different from any therapy session you will ever go to. I'm excited to go on this journey with you. I'm excited for you to learn so much more about healing that isn't being offered anywhere else. So I hope you enjoy the masterclass and this program and the one-on-one therapy session with our in-house therapist. And if you have any other questions or any comments, you can comment below. You can reach out to me. You can email me. And I look forward to hearing from you.